Fantastic. And with that, we'll get underway. I want to thank you all for joining us today in this webinar, professional services webinar from Seqera. Um, my name's Rob Syme, and I'm the scientific support lead here at Seqera. I'm going to be joined by my colleague, Safiyah, who's our director of professional services here at Seqera. And before we start, I want to just go over a couple of quick housekeeping items. First of all, again, welcome. I want to note that all questions should be submitted in the Q&A box. We'll go over these questions at the end, but throughout the webinar, if things occur to you, feel free to drop those questions in the Q&A box and we'll address them all together at the end. Please participate in the closing poll that we'll have before the Q&A. And lastly, of course, we'll be sharing this webinar by email. So if you can't attend or if you get pulled away, we'll definitely be sending those emails out at the end. So a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to give a quick intro into Nextflow and Seqera, and then I'm going to pass it over to Safiyah, who's going to start in a broad sense about sort of discussing what is professional services and what are professional services. We're going to talk about some of the particular professional services that we offer here at Seqera around the Seqera ecosystem. We're going to talk about some case studies and our portfolio of services. But to kick things off, I want to give you a quick intro into Seqera and how Nextflow fits into our story. So Nextflow is an open source workflow orchestration tool that was first developed by 10 years ago at the Center of Genomic Regulation in Barcelona. It was created by Paolo Di Tommaso, who's now our CTO and one of Seqera's co-founders. So you could sort of say that Nextflow and Seqera have grown up together. Today, Nextflow powers millions of scientific analyses every month. It's become the leading standard for managing complex, data-intensive workflows, especially in the life sciences. But while Nextflow is incredibly powerful on its own, we know that teams often need more than just a workflow engine. They need a way to run these workflows reliably across different infrastructures, to collaborate with teammates, to track results, and do it all at scale, securely and reproducibly. That's exactly why Seqera was founded, to provide a platform and an ecosystem that helps organizations take full advantage of what Nextflow enables, while solving the broader challenges of running production scale science in regulated and distributed environments. Today, we support more than 130 customers, from emerging biotechs to top pharma companies, and we're proud to be helping drive discovery and innovation across the industry. At Seqera, our mission is to advance science for everyone through software. We believe that scientific discovery should move as fast as your ideas, but too often progress gets slowed down, not by the science itself, but by all the work you do around the work, sort of managing infrastructure, wrangling tools, debugging environments, and trying to make things reproducible. And our goal is to remove those barriers, and we want to give scientists and developers the right tools, intuitive and powerful and built for scale, so you can focus on what really matters, solving hard problems and moving discovery forward. And we think about this using these three pillars. The first is to build, giving teams the tools they need to develop scientific software and pipelines that are robust and flexible and easy to maintain. And then validate, making sure those workflows are reproducible, standardized, and trustworthy, so the results can be shared, reused, and scaled with confidence. And then finally, scale, enabling those workflows to run anywhere, from your local laptop to HPC to massive cloud deployments, all while keeping performance and cost in check. And these pillars sort of shape everything we do, from our open source contributions to our commercial platform and the services we provide. With that foundation in place, I'm going to hand it over to Safiyah, our Director of Professional Services, who's going to dive into how we help customers bring these principles to life in real-world projects. So Safiyah, over to you.
Alrighty, thank you, Rob. Okay, great. So thank you for the introduction. As Rob mentioned, my name is Safiyah Ismail. I am the Director of Professional Services here at Seqera. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our professional services strategy. I'm going to talk to you about, first we're going to dive into what is professional services. We're going to talk about how we scale POCs to really enterprise-wide deployments. And then if we've got time at the end, happy to answer some questions. So Before we dive into that, I've got a question for the crowd here. Have you ever bought a treadmill and never used it? And maybe some of these pictures here at the bottom, might trigger some memories for people on the call here. Think about when it's New Year's Eve and we're all celebrating with our friends and family, and we're thinking about, all right, new year, new me. What goals do I have? Yeah, I'm gonna, have these financial goals. I'm gonna have these travel goals. I'm gonna have these professional goals. I'm gonna have these fitness goals. So a lot of us, we'll go out and we'll say, I'm gonna do this fitness goal, and I'm gonna get this equipment, and it's gonna help me accomplish this goal. And oftentimes, I'm very guilty of that. I'm sure a lot of other folks can definitely resonate with that as well. Oftentimes, we buy tools with the best of intentions. We're going to get this treadmill and we're going to crush these fitness goals, or we're going to buy this other tool and we're going to crush this other big goal that we have. But owning something doesn't necessarily mean that you are using it effectively. And just as we saw those photos of those unused treadmills in that previous slide, it's a very similar idea here in terms of software. Having a license to a tool or owning software to do something in your day-to-day tasks doesn't necessarily mean that you're using it effectively. And so that's really where professional services comes in, to help, level up, and to help you essentially get the most out of that tool that you bought. So the most out of that treadmill, or the most out of that other software. So what is professional services anyways? Think of professional services as your expert hiking guide. So if software is a mountain, you want to get to the top. You want to get that value, the top of the mountain being that value of what you're trying to get out of it. So kind of going back to that treadmill analogy, if you're like having that treadmill is, you want to get to the top of, whatever your goal is, whether it be running a marathon or building some sort of endurance, or whatever it may be. So buying software is a lot like buying climbing gear. But unless you know how to really effectively use it and really how to get the most value out of it, it's hard to essentially leverage that to accomplish your goals. So, when people do, buy the software, buy this climbing gear, do they really know how to climb? And so to kind of build off of these analogies we've been talking about, professional services is your hiking guide. We guide, we enable, and we help accelerate that journey to help you get to the top of that mountain to get the value out of what you're looking for. So here I've got, a picture. We've got the left side, we have an individual who's hiking, looks a little confused. Maybe he's unsure of himself. He's got his shoelaces untied, looks tired. He's alone. And then on the right side, we have someone who looks confident, he's got all of his climbing gear on correctly. His shoelaces are tied. He's got a guide with him who, also looks confident, looks like they're going in the right direction. So what we have on the left is really what it's like to get these new tools or get this new software without a professional services, hiking guide along the way to guide you. And then on the right, this is sort of with professional services, a lot more confident, know where you're going, know what you're doing, and really that partner to help you get to the top of the mountain to get to that value. So bringing this back into specifically, the context of biotech and, the mission and the goals that Rob was just talking about earlier. Why do SaaS customers need this? Yes, even in 2025. The reality is internal teams are stretched thin. Life sciences are especially overloaded. Um, Research is quick, research is fast. Competition is, like the name of the game is really just the speed at which you can do your research, conduct your clinical trials, conduct your data analysis, really get the ball moving. research is moving at a pace that's probably faster than ever. And so life sciences teams are especially overloaded. Priorities are changing, goals are shifting, and the need to essentially keep up with competition is really tough. And so teams don't just need software, they need those outcomes. They need to get to the top of that mountain to really be able to get that value. So kind of contextualizing this, we've talked about professional services, we talked about why this is important for biotech, we've talked about, what this means specifically in the lay of the land for SaaS within 2025. Here at Seqera, we were very intentional around, when we started developing our professional services team and we started thinking about getting a ton of feedback from our customers, we were very intentional about how we built out the team. So what you see here are a couple of the pillars that we use to really help guide this. And so as we were thinking about how we want to build out our team, how we want to build out our strategy, how we want to support customers with this, what we're hearing in the market, what we're hearing, in the industry. First and foremost, what you need is a team that can not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. And so what that means is obviously at the heart of our professional services team, we are all bioinformaticians. So these are, PhD or master's bioinformaticians with a broad set of experience, both in academia and in the industry as well, spanning across, all areas of life sciences. And so with that comes that deep commitment to open source, that Rob talked about. We actively support and drive the evolution of Nextflow and NF Core communities. And we also have a team of in-house cloud technology experts. As we all know here, it's not just about Nextflow, it's not just about pipelines, but it's also about the infrastructure that you're running on, and being able to optimize, meeting customers where they're at, what they're already set up on, and being able to support them through that journey as well. So having in-house expertise of essentially implementing, supporting AWS, GCP, hybrid, Azure, on-prem environments, pretty much any flavor you can think of in terms of cloud technology, we've got you covered. And then last but not least, just leveraging those best practices. So as I mentioned, our team has really done the work in the field, and now they're here to support customers to be able to accomplish the same thing. And so it's very important for us to essentially being able to like cross-pollinate those learnings across all of our customers. We bring learnings from over 120 plus enterprise customers, and supporting through NF Core communities since essentially the inception. And so with every sort of engagement that we're working with, boots on the ground with customers, we're bringing those best practices, both that we've seen from the Nextflow and NF Core side of the house, but also in cloud technology and essentially how folks can, make the most out of the systems that they're running. So that being said, like that is essentially, the first thing that you need are the right people on the team, the right folks who know what they're doing. They've done this work before. They're experts in their field, and they're really able to really deeply empathize with customers and empathize with the challenges that they face. And so here are a lot of the common challenges, that our team has faced within their own work, as bioinformaticians and as, cloud technology professionals that we are now able to essentially support our customers with. And it really ranges from a broad range of things. Complex environments. I just talked about our cloud technology experts. They know everything from, GCP, AWS, Azure. So everything with, trouble setting up pipelines or integrating within current systems, we really help make that process simple and seamless, across, scalability issues. So, we understand that, scaling workflows, whether it's in cloud or hybrid, can be awfully challenging. It can be, unless you have the right sort of skill sets and folks available, it can be a challenge to scale that across. If you've got, say you work at a top 10 pharma and you're trying to expand throughout multiple different divisions and therapeutic areas, it's really essential to be able to deliver strategies to help grow with your needs, and that's what our team is able to do. Inefficient pipelines, team constraints, knowledge gaps. These are all things that, as I mentioned, our team has seen in the field and in their own work, and that we're able to deeply empathize and solve those challenges for our customers as well. And last but not least, just tying it back to, our original, the original metaphor with the treadmill and not using it and trying to get to the top of the mountain. Really, we are here to help fully utilize Seqera platform to meet your goals. So whatever your goals are as an organization, around speed and scale and faster analysis and being able to, support drug development initiatives and all other spans of research. Our goal is to help essentially get fully unlock, what we're able to support on the platform and how that software can help you get to your outcomes faster. Okay, so some of the value of Seqera professional services. I've talked about the team. We were very methodical around the skill sets and the experiences and being able to empathize with customers and not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. And so what we're able to do, because we have that broad set of experiences and a deep expertise, both in bioinformatics, but also cloud technology, we're able to use proven frameworks and best practices to essentially ensure a smooth go live. We know that no two biotechs, no two companies have essentially the same infrastructure. It's not just a one size fit all. We understand the need for having tailored solutions. We understand that in order to get you to accomplish your goals as an organization and really meet your outcomes, we need to be able to meet customers where they're at. So it's very important to us that we're able to essentially deliver on that. So delivering tailored solutions that essentially meet our customers' needs, and being able to accelerate that time to value. So just as I was mentioning with the treadmill analogy, buying something and owning something doesn't necessarily mean that you're effectively using it. Our team's priority is to get you up and running as fast as possible in a way that builds confidence for your team and accelerates that time to value from your investment with Seqera platform. So I'll talk a little bit more in detail as to what that looks like in just a bit. And then last but not least, what all these things kind of tie into is essentially the long-term benefits, which is ongoing access to our experts, and being able to solve complex challenges before, during, and after implementation, and then also just building confidence for your team. So you definitely want to be able to make sure that, once you purchase software, once you've gone through the implementation, once you are, getting pipelines up and running, we want to make sure that your team is fully equipped and empowered to be able to operate independently with knowledge and skills that they've gained, both working with our team, but also working with the product. So that's really where that, getting to the top of the mountain kind of comes in, and it's all about being able to meet those objectives and also accomplish your goals with achieving those outcomes. Okay, so what does this sort of look like in a real world setting? Most oftentimes, the first time that we really get in and support with our customers is around supporting them with POCs. So what is a POC? It's a proof of concept. The way that we have chosen to structure this at Seqera and the way that we support it is we want to be able to quickly validate and essentially have a high impact proof of concept where folks can validate that, yes, the software meets the needs of my organization and that we feel confident that this is going to support our goals. That's the bottom line. So we see POCs as a very lightweight, time-boxed project to really showcase the potential of our solutions within your own environment. And so a couple of tenets that this is all like, feedback that we have received from customers and how we've chosen to tie this back in. It's a very quick validation. So we want to be able to evaluate our solutions against real world requirements. What pipelines do you intend on running? What types of research are you doing? What are your goals for your team? As I mentioned before, we take a very tailored approach. we understand that everyone's environment, everyone's infrastructure requirements, they're all unique. No two companies are the same. No two companies' tech stacks are the same. We get that. We have been in those shoes before. So we're able to essentially tailor your business needs and your technical requirements to what we can support with that implementation to get that quick validation that I was just talking about. Low risk and high reward. So as I mentioned, we have this be very lightweight. We have it be very structured from our team's perspective so that you're able to see tangible results without, a full-blown commitment of a full implementation. And then last but not least, it's incredibly important for POCs to, lay that blueprint for success. And so what we have on the right side here, we were very methodical around how we built out this process. We didn't want to just have folks go in and try things without, access to the experts or without a clear, what's the success criteria in mind. So we try to be very intentional around how we essentially support customers with our POC process. How that begins is essentially just assessing the need for it. So aligning this POC, say for Seqera platform, with your business goals. What are your goals as an organization? What type of research are you doing? What type of pipelines do you intend on running? What is the scale that you're looking at? Where do you see yourself as a company, as an organization, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Our customer's success is really our success. And so it's very important that we align those bullet points with the business goals of our customers. Secondly, we will collect detailed technical requirements. So we'll do an in-depth technical discovery, kind of going back to assessing infrastructure needs and all that fun stuff. We'll align on the process. As we mentioned, this is lightweight, it's time boxed, so make sure that everyone has the availability to get this done in a very quick fashion. And then we execute on the POC. We get our team, boots on the ground, involved with your team, make sure that we're getting things set up hand in hand, resolving questions and issues proactively and quickly, and that there's a clear line of sight to what the success criteria is. Once those POCs are completed, it's very important, as I mentioned, that we have a structured setup for how this is. So generally, once we've conducted a POC and, we are able to have a lightweight, validated implementation of what this would look like in a POC fashion, what this then turns into is our implementation services. So once our customers have had positive experience, they're happy with, the way that we're able to meet their goals, the way that we're able to scale with them and kind of what their strategy is. Our implementation service, which is, a full-blown production-ready implementation, is called Quick Launch. And so here we're able to essentially launch fast and scale smarter, and think of this as a streamlined implementation service designed to get you up and running quickly. So similarly to the approach that we took with the POC of, we want to align ahead of time on tech requirements. We want to make sure that we understand your business goals. We want to make sure that we are tailoring everything to your needs in terms of environment needs, infrastructure requirements, all that fun stuff. We approach our implementation services in a very similar fashion. So first and foremost, speed and efficiency is incredibly important. So we are able to accelerate that deployment with a very structured, efficient approach. So we've got a full team of professionals on our professional services team, everywhere from project management to bioinformaticians to our cloud technology experts that are able to keep the project on track with its timelines and also meet the scientific and technical requirements that we've understood from you. As I've mentioned, one of the key important parts is essentially that expert support that I've mentioned. So our professionals are able to guide your implementation and ensure there's optimal outcomes along the way. So what you'll see on the right side here is essentially just like a high-level overview of what that process looks like. So once we have all that information from the POC alignment of technical requirements, technical discovery, what infrastructure are you running on, what are different things that need to be considered throughout that, we make sure that we're able to align on those objectives, there's a built out timeline where essentially, every phase has a time boxed section where our team is available to essentially guide and make sure that we're meeting all those success criteria as milestone to milestone. Secondly, infrastructure setups, our cloud technology experts, they are available to help unblock, troubleshoot, resolve anything that comes up as you're working to get that, production readiness environment set up. We do a very lightweight pipeline testing phase where we essentially are able to benchmark pipelines to validate performance on your side with performance on our side. So as I started off, sharing about our strategy and our team, we've got pipelines we run in-house pretty much daily. We know how optimally these can run. We know what the wall time should look like. We know all the other metrics involved with it. So we're here to make sure that you can crush those objectives as well, and that we're able to get you running as efficiently as we are, day to day. Last but not least, as we were developing this offering, a lot of the feedback that we received from customers was, hey, this is great. We're up and running. We got your help with everything, but we need to train our team. We've got 30 other users we're onboarding. We've got 80 other users that we're getting onto the platform. So training is a really important aspect of this, as I mentioned, with developing that confidence and building, building that adoption across teams. We provide all of our customers with that go through the quick launch with training to provide that hands-on experience to really empower your team to go in and run pipelines and utilize the platform to the best of its ability. And then last but not least, this is the most up-to-date addition that we included into this offering is our expert services. So this is the ability to essentially use a bucket of hours with our team of in-house experts to receive ongoing guidance with really anything. I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, but it's a technical like consultation where once we've gotten you up and running, once we've trained your team, great, we're going to take you to the next level in terms of here's our best practices, here's our tips and tricks for what we use on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about strategy, we've talked about team, we've talked about, first point of contact with customers through POCs, how we translate those to full-blown implementations, what our approach has been. Now I want to talk through a case study with a top 10 pharma who we have worked with in this fashion. So for a lot of our customers, the problems are very similar, and so in terms of inefficient custom legacy pipelines, they lacked in-house expertise for Nextflow and Seqera optimization, and really having, and this is a super common one across all of our customers, is around high cloud costs. Our pipelines are not set up super optimally. We're spending loads of money on, AWS bill or other things, month-to-month basis, like help us get these cloud costs under control. So, they came to us and they said, do you all have experts who can help us with Nextflow, converting legacy pipelines to Nextflow using best practices? We need help controlling these cloud costs. And really, we want to get our whole team, we want to get their skill set on the same level. We want to make sure that we have someone who knows what they're talking about come in and help get everyone, help level up their skill set and where they're at. And we said, yes, we do. And so the solution that we really had here, and as I've touched on previously, is really having that direct access to Seqera's Nextflow and platform experts, both on the Nextflow side of things with, converting legacy pipelines, providing best practices on Nextflow and being able to, operate with pipelines more efficiently, but also on the other side of the house with the cloud technology and, being able to provide best practices and advice on controlling those costs. And, here's different tweaks you can make to your configuration to, make sure that you're running things a little bit more optimally. The second piece here is around, what I've talked about with tailored optimizations to, improve performance and also reduce runtime. And last but not least, we were able to come in and help increase adoption of Nextflow and Seqera platform. So being able to, train folks and meet them where they're at, assess, hey, share with us what your skill set is. What is your comfort level? What is your level of experience with these languages, these pipelines, this type of work? We've got a whole team of individuals who are experts in those fields, who are able to come in and, provide hands-on training in a way that's super personalized, and able to, help folks level up within their own organization specifically. And so what did all this sort of culminate to? So the results that we found were really fascinating. Our customer was able to essentially, experience a 40% reduction in pipeline runtime. They were able to accelerate their bioinformatics analysis. They were able to essentially reduce their cloud spend through consulting with our team and figuring out, different configurations and optimizations for resource usage. And then last but not least, we were able to increase team productivity and confidence with running their pipelines and their workflows. And that's, again, the most important aspect here is building that confidence, getting your teams to be more productive and accelerating, what might have taken them, 6 hours out of their day now takes them 2. That's really the differentiator that we're able to provide, is that our team they've all done this work before. They've all felt these pain points. They've all experienced these challenges. And so they're able to kind of come in and provide, best practices and advice for how we're able to support other folks experiencing the same thing in the future. Okay. Last but not least, because I want to make sure we leave some time for questions. Professional services does not just end at implementation. It does not just end at, an initial onboarding for customers. So we have worked with loads and loads of customers who have provided tons of feedback in terms of, what they are looking for in terms of how we can help accelerate their journey to, through their research. So I've talked about implementation services. This is a streamlined onboarding for customers where, we're able to meet them where they're at. It's tailored and it's fully functional to get you up and running as fast as possible. The second offering that we have is our instructor-led training. So as I was explaining what our implementation offering is in terms of all the different phases and milestones, training is a huge, huge, huge component of this in terms of great, like we have the treadmill, it's up and running. But help train me on, how I can get faster at running and how I can be more efficient with my workouts. That's what we're able to do with our training. So we provide hands-on practical training to really build that muscle of working more efficiently, not just with Nextflow, but with Seqera platform as well. And so we offer that training. We offer both virtual and in-person trainings. We've done this with loads of top 10 pharma, loads of biotech. And so we have a course catalog where, you can essentially see like, what's the topic of the training? What are the goals? What are the objectives? Who is this tailored towards? And we've also created custom training as well. So we've had a lot of customers come to us and say, hey, we saw your catalog. That's great. We have a very specific need. We are converting from this language to another, or we have like a huge group of individuals who are looking to do this specific type of research. And we have these specific needs. Can you help us? Would you be able to create custom content for that? And our response is yes, we absolutely can. So we've done that both in virtual and on-site fashions. So, we're able to kind of talk through what that looks like as well. Our third offering is our expert services. So I also touched on this when I was going through our implementation package. Expert services is really a way to help our customers achieve their goals faster through Nextflow, cloud computing, just general pipeline orchestration. We have we were very intentional about packaging this and having this as part of our implementation offering so that, folks can get a taste of this as they're getting up and running. But we have seen customers use our expert services in a broad range of ways. So think of it as, a bucket of hours to use for really anything. We've had some customers use it for, hey, we want XYZ hours to do, we want to do full-blown training. We've got 120 people coming on board across, this many therapeutic areas. We want to get them all on the same level of Nextflow. Can you come in and help us do that? And so we've had folks use those expert services for like large scale training to really push adoption and push those sort of business objectives. We've had some folks use expert services to kind of work hand in hand on different projects. One customer is doing, pipeline conversion. They're, maybe doing some work in a legacy pipeline, and they want to do the work, but they want to have, direct access to the experts on asking different questions, troubleshooting through different issues, all sorts of fun stuff like that. We've had some folks come in and say, we don't have a specific project in mind. We don't really want to use this with training, but we just want to be able to meet for a couple of hours a week and ask ad hoc questions that come up around Nextflow, ad hoc questions that come up around different workflows that we're using. And so we've said, yeah, we can absolutely do that. And so with several of our customers, we actually just host office hours with them, and they'll send us questions beforehand, and we'll review them and do whatever research we need to do on our side, or get on and either give a demo of how we would tackle that problem, do some live troubleshooting of what that would look like, or really just serve as that like best practice consultant. Think of us as an extension of your team. We've been able to operate in that fashion as well. So all that to say, expert services is really, we can make it whatever we want it to be, but it's a loosely defined consultation with a specific end goal in mind of what we're able to support. So it's a really fun way of us being able to help all of our customers level up, and this is actually one of our biggest offerings in terms of how organizations have been able to say, like, yeah, we have direct access to, the Nextflow experts, and we're able to get on weekly and essentially help, optimize what we're working on, and accelerate the work that we're doing. As I said, what took, 6 hours of work can now take a significantly shorter amount of time. So it's been really fun to be able to support customers in that way. And then last but not least, custom pipeline development. So yes, we support with new customer onboarding, trainings, expert services. We've had customers come to us and say, okay, we've taken a look at all these offerings. We want to convert this language to Nextflow. Can you all help us do that? We want like hands-on keyboard support, not just, hey, we want to ask you questions. We want, an expert to help troubleshoot things. Like, no, we want you to literally build this. The answer to that question is yes, we absolutely do support that. So as I mentioned with, our team of in-house experts, we have done loads of engagements where we have essentially helped our customers develop tailored pipelines to address their specific research, scientific, technical needs, and really being able to make sure that they're able to, get that pipeline written by us, written by the experts, in a production readiness setting, and being able to start running their analyses on. So that's been another really fun way of us being able to support and collaborate with customers as well. So I want to make sure that we leave time for questions. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening. And yeah, if you have any questions, be sure to pass them in the chat. Rob, I'll pass this back off to you.
Thanks, Safiyah. Great outline. And as someone in the team who will be doing these sort of professional services, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love getting to grips with interesting Nextflow infrastructure scaling issues. So while we're here, we're going to reach out and drop a poll in the chat. And there are some links in the chat as well. If you're interested in hearing more from us and you're interested in the professional services, feel free to grab that link and follow through. While you're doing that poll, I want to talk about some upcoming events that we have that Seqera are running. If we could just go to the next slide, Sophia. The first event is the Nextflow Training and NF Core Hackathon, which we're running in person in Barcelona at the end of October. So if you're in Barcelona or Europe, or you can make it to Barcelona October 28th, 29th, and you want to be involved in the in-person NF Core Hackathon and the Nextflow training that Seqera runs, it's it's a fantastic event and a really great time for the community to come together and sort of tackle interesting Nextflow problems. You'd be very welcome to come. The second event that is coming up in October is the Nextflow Summit. Traditionally, we've done this in person in Barcelona, but for the first time, we're going to run it virtually, sort of expanding the reach. And so if you can go to the next slide, Sophia. If you're interested in coming to the Nextflow Summit virtually, that will be hosted again at the end of October, just before the NF Core Training and Hackathon in October 23, 24. The registrations are open, will be opening next month, but the call for abstracts is now open. So if you'd like to give a talk, feel free to reach out now. The abstracts are open now. The link is in the chat. Okay, while we have you here, let's open up the floor for Q&A. And I have just remember to drop the questions in the Q&A box. And we have a couple of questions here. So the first question I have is, someone says, the 40% reduction in pipeline runtime is impressive. Did the Seqera team reach this by optimizing the Nextflow configurations, or also by helping optimize the in-house scripts and software? Thank you. So great question. In that particular example that Safiyah mentioned in the sort of the example that we used, that 40% reduction was done by both means. So it was both infrastructure optimizations via configuration and some cloud infrastructure tweaks, but also by modifying the Nextflow workflow. We don't think in that particular case, we did optimizations of the underlying software. So all of that was in that. The cost savings and the reduction in runtime were generated through configuration changes and Nextflow workflow changes. And there was another question in here, another great one. If I'm a startup that doesn't use Seqera platform, can I still contract Seqera services to convert our legacy pipelines to Nextflow? I might throw that one to Safiyah. So Safiyah, if someone's in a startup and they're not a Seqera platform customer, can they still reach out for services?
Yes, absolutely. We have worked with several customers who are not, technically on the platform, but need our help for those exact same use cases. So definitely a possibility in terms of what we're able to support. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're interested in building Nextflow capacity in your organization, no matter what the size. And one last question here. What if our team is really early? We're just starting to experiment with Nextflows. Is that too soon?
It is absolutely not too soon. Actually, the earlier the better, because we are really able to come in and help your team develop best practices and really work with you as you develop your strategy as a bioinformatics organization, as a bioinformatics team. It's actually the earlier the better, because we're able to share, as I mentioned, our learnings that we've seen, in the field and that we've experienced with all of our customers. So it's absolutely not too early. That's actually the best time to start thinking about it.
Fantastic. One last question. Get your questions in now before we close it up. But one last question. What's the difference between using professional services and just trying to do the implementation on my own?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And we do get that quite frequently. The difference there, so our docs they are online. Everything is public, so anyone can certainly come in and self-implement. The differentiator is really having the access to experts and knowing that we've done this dozens and dozens of time with hundreds of other customers, and so we are already aware of different challenges, things that may come up, we can proactively solve problems before they even become a problem. Um, which is a little harder to find if you're, you have like the manual and you're just kind of doing this at home by yourself. You're able to really collaborate with folks who do this on a day-to-day basis and have seen this in pretty much every single flavor. So it is certainly possible, but having the direct access to the experts is a really big win there. And then also in terms of, as I was talking through our implementation package of, you also get the training, you also get the expert services, and it's around like building that confidence of here's everything you need to know. Like we can we can accelerate that confidence and accelerate that adoption faster than it would take essentially, someone who's kind of doing that by themselves.
Perfect. Great answer. So if you're interested in building Nextflow capacity or ensuring you get the most out of the Seqera ecosystem, please do reach out. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, I might wrap up the webinar. I want to thank you again for coming and your attention in the webinar. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. We'd be more than happy to chat. Thanks again, and we'll see you at a Seqera event in the future.